You are listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report, episode 163.3, the Girls Basketball Report, a breakdown of our local girls basketball sectionals.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengelt.
Welcome, basketball fans. I am your host, Greg Mengelt, and today is January 30th, 2025. It's a Thursday, so it's another day for the Central Indiana Sports Report. In a minute, Michelle Garmon will join me to talk about the sectional draw and break down each of our local sectionals. Sectional 7 at Harrison, Sectional 8 at Noblesville, and Sectional 9 at Mount Vernon and 4A. And 3A, Sectional 22 at Norwell, Sectional 23 at Twin Lakes, and Sectional 24 at Connersville. In 2A, we're going to break down Sectional 38 at Lewis Cass, Sectional 39 at Sheridan, and Sectional 40 at Alexandria. And in Class A, Sectional 54 at Clinton Prairie, Sectional 55 at Tri Central, and Sectional 57 at Anderson Prep. Later this week, or probably early next week, probably early Monday morning, Michelle and I will break down the entire state and what we think will happen in the girls' basketball postseason, with an emphasis, of course, on our 12 local sectionals. If you like what you hear and appreciate what we're doing, please go like, subscribe, or follow us. We are on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and YouTube. Just search Central Indiana Sports Report. We are easy to find. And here's Michelle. Michelle, you and I are going to go more into depth in our girls basketball postseason preview later, but right now we have not talked at all about the pairings. So I wanted to go through our local sectionals and get some of your thoughts. All right?
All right, sounds good.
Okay. So let's just go in order. Start at sectional number 7. It doesn't start until Friday. Lafayette Jeff plays Harrison, and Kokomo plays at 6. Kokomo and McCutcheon at 7:30 with the champions on Saturday, or the winners on Saturday at 7. Um, McCutcheon beat Kokomo 57-36 on December 4th. They will be the heavy favorites going into this. They, of course, are the defending champions as well, but I would not count out Kokomo.
Uh, no, I wouldn't count them out either. Kokomo 16-7 had one of their best seasons in a long time. So I don't think you can count them out. I do think McCutcheon is definitely the team to beat
Yes.
in that sectional. They have some really good players. They have a player that Tipton is familiar with in Riley Wetz, who is going to play college basketball at Grace after she's done. So she'll be over there with Emma Sperry, and so I think McCutcheon is probably the heavy favorite. When I just say went to the percentage system for when they came up with classes.
Right.
So 4A doesn't quite have as many schools, so you've got 4-team sectionals as opposed to anywhere from 5 to 8 teams.
Right. Some of them have 6.
Yes, some of them have 6,
including the next 2.
Pardon?
Including the next 2 that I'm going to read you.
Yes. So for McCutcheon, that is I would say looking at that schedule, or not that schedule, looking at that sectional, McCutcheon is pretty good, but I don't know that sectional really has a semi-state contender in it.
No, but the next one does. Sectional 8 at Noblesville. Of course, the big one in that one is almost certainly going to come down to Hamilton Southeastern versus Noblesville on Saturday. But before we get to that, Hamilton Southeastern is 22-0. Their third straight 20-win season, but they haven't won a sectional since 2019 because they've been in there with Noblesville and Carmel.
No, they haven't.
Noblesville and Carmel. Yeah.
I watched their sectional championship game against Noblesville last year when Noblesville beat them. Noblesville's guards got the better of Hamilton Southeastern's guards, and
Could happen again.
Noblesville's very well coached. Donna is
Yeah,
a great coach.
could happen again for sure.
It could.
Fishers is 13-8, but they've lost and they've won 4 of their last 5 games. Still can't imagine they can beat Hamilton Southeastern. 10-11 Carmel is plays 18-3 Noblesville. Carmel's not bad again, like Fishers, but I can't imagine they will beat
Well,
Noblesville.
Carmel took a big blow when Isabel Shepard suffered a for her high school career ending, season ending ACL injury. So they don't
Yeah.
have her for the rest of the season. So that's a big loss for them, and it takes it takes them. I don't believe they have a chance to play sectional spoiler without her. So
No, this is going to be Hamilton and Southeastern and Noblesville unless something strange happens.
oh yes, now but be careful because there was you never know because is Zionsville in that sectional too?
They are.
Is Zionsville and Westfield? As I think they drew buys, correct?
Right.
Right. So I mean,
Zionsville will play Hamilton Southeastern, and Westfield will play Noblesville.
yeah. So and I think it's the same in basketball. I know in football they always say that second game is the tough one to win because you're not necessarily playing for. So and you can't get caught up because it's a Friday and then to Saturday. So I don't think they will because that sectional is so talented and so deep. I don't think Hamilton Southeastern or Noblesville will look past any of their games. But Zionsville and Westville by drawing buys and just getting and knowing that
for sure
who they're probably gonna prep for Southeastern and they're gonna prep for Noblesville. Those two teams for a week, and so anything can happen. So they might have a chance to play spoilers, but I do think it's going to come down to Southeastern Noblesville in that championship game, and I think it's going to be a big crowd again, and I think it's going to be a well of a game.
Michelle, it's possible they're the best 2 teams in the state.
And no, I
Noblesville,
I think the best team in the state, even though Southeastern beat them in the Hall of Fame, I'm still not so sure that Lawrence Central is not the best team in the state.
They might be 2 of the 3 best teams in the state. How about that?
How about that? I'll give you that. They're 2 of the 3 best teams in the state.
Noblesville got a slow start. Of course, their soccer team had a great season, and Meredith Hipner came in late. They haven't lost since early in the year since she started playing better. All right.
Yeah, she's a good player.
Yes, she is. Great athlete.
Yes.
Sectional 9 is at Mount Vernon. It starts with 15-7 Greenfield Central against 10-11 Richmond. Greenfield Central beat Richmond by 24 points in November. And then Anderson versus Muncie Central. Anderson's first win of the season came over Muncie Central, 58-57 on December 20th. They are 2-20. Muncie Central had its best season in years at 7-13, but it was really struggled down the stretch. And then Pendleton Heights, looking for its first sectional championship in 14 years, drew either Anderson or Muncie Central, so Pendleton Heights should be in the sectional championship game. The other side will have 16-6 Mount Vernon, likely against 15-7 Greenfield Central. So those look like the 3 contenders.
Yeah, hey, go Pendleton Heights. I mean, this is the year. This is the year they could very easily do it.
They're going to.
They've got a great backcourt. And I'm not sure what Mount Vernon has and what they have inside. So the key could be the Hupfer girl. It's Hupfer, right?
Yes.
Because she could end up being the key to that. As far as on the glass and rebounding and everything. But the Warfel girl is just so much fun. The Jones girl, right? She's the defender and also can score. I mean, they've got a very fun backcourt. I
don't know if you saw what they did last night, Michelle. They played Shelbyville, who is 12-9 going into the game, and beat them 74-13.
Wow.
It was 47-4 at halftime. That is a team playing really well. They've won 9 games in a row, and no one has even come close to them since North Central on December 21st. They beat by 2 points. The day after they lost to Fishers by a point was their last loss. So I think this is their year, Michelle.
Very well could be.
All right, in 3A, we've got Marion and Mrs. Sinowal are at sectional 22 at Norwell. The sectional starts with 2-18 New Haven versus 1-18 Heritage. Oof. The winner gets the privilege of getting blown out by number 6 Belmont in the semifinals. And Marion at 7:30 on Tuesday plays number 9 Norwell. Norwell's 14-6. Marion's had a really nice season at 9-13. I believe they won tonight, so they're 10-13. They beat Adams Central. And Mississinawa will play the Norwell Marion winner. Looks like Belmont's a heavy favorite in this one.
Oh, I think it's going to be a great game, championship game between Belmont and Norwell.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, Norwell is good. You know, I believe Norwell is the one that upset Hamilton Heights last year in the semi-state, or in the regional, or in the semi-state. And so,
Yeah, you're right. They played a 3-point game just a couple of weeks ago. So
I mean that sets up. You know, you think about it. You got a great championship game between Southeastern and Noblesville. Probably here's going to be another in 3A, another great for 3A, a great championship game with Belmont and Norwell.
yeah, Belmont really got the draw, getting a bye, and the loser of the winner of the New Haven Heritage game. Two really not good teams. Okay.
Yeah, but you know sometimes Greg, that can go against you because you drew the bye and then you're going to play a bad team. Sometimes it'd be better if you drew a good team and then maybe play the bad team.
Right.
And, you know, but only because you're going to really not be challenged for over a week. So, you know, that could be interesting.
In sectional 23 at Twin Lakes, I think, Michelle, there are 4 teams that could make an argument. Maybe 5. Yeah, 5 teams that could make an argument. Maybe even West Lafayette, 6. This is not a lot of good teams in this one. A lot of balance.
That's what I was going to say. That, to me, that may be the weakest. When I was looking,
Yeah.
when they were announcing it and I was watching the pairing show, I thought, oh my gosh, that used to be one of the strongest sectionals.
Yes.
And now it's probably one of the weakest sectionals in 3A.
And it probably just goes in waves. Peru is playing pretty well. They're 12-10, and they play Northwestern, who's been playing pretty well, 7-13. In Tuesday's only game, Peru beat Northwestern 48-37 on December 17th. Then on Wednesday, there are 2 semifinals. Western has to feel really good about its draw. The Panthers are 8-15, and they play 3-18 Logansport, who they beat by 31 points just a couple weeks ago. And then 13-7 Mechanical, which also has to like its chances, faces 5-17 Twin Lakes. West Lafayette got a bye to the semifinals and will play the Peru Northwestern winner. The Logansport Western winner will play the Mechanical Twin Lakes winner. So this sectional has 7 teams.
Yeah.
The Western and Northwestern really have to like their chances.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what. Here's for Mechanical. Mechanical is not bad, and
Nope. No, they're the favorites.
They are, and they're a team that they need to be making their threes. When they're making their threes, they're really strong. But if they're not hitting their threes, then you know they can be in a little bit of trouble. All right, I'm not sure. With Twin Lakes, I'm not. I saw something on social media that led me to believe that maybe Bozeman, the coach's daughter, who is a 1,000-point scorer and really good shooter, that maybe she suffered a season-ending injury earlier this season. And because I was really shocked that they weren't better than what they were because they had her. And I know, but when you have a great player like that who makes players around her better, because she did. And I think I saw where she was injured, and it's really a shame because she doesn't get injured. Twin Lakes may have been the favorite in that sectional, and so I kind of hate that for them. But yeah, it is a wide open sectional. That one's going to come down to whichever team I think is making outside shots and taking care of the basketball.
By the way, Michelle, the entire sectional besides Logansport is within 11 points of each other on the Sagarin ratings. The top 5 teams are within 6 points of each other. So that's going to be some sectional.
Yes.
Sectional 24 at Connersville, 14-7. 14-6 Yorktown hasn't won a sectional since 2011. Has a really good shot. They start with 5-16 Newcastle, who they beat by 21 points on Friday. And 14-6 Delta has had its best season in a long time, hasn't won a sectional championship since 1993, and they face 5-15 Hamilton Heights, the four-time defending sectional champions. Uh, that's probably going to come to an end. Uh, the Yorktown Newcastle winner will play 15-7 Connersville, another team that has to consider itself one of the favorites, especially at home. And Jay County with Haley Schwederman will take on the Delta Hamilton Heights winner. The semifinal or the championship game is Saturday, February 8th at 7:30.
Well, Jake Kennedy's always usually pretty good in the sectional. They've challenged Hamilton Heights all 4 years that they played. I mean, Jake County was always a team that concerned Hamilton Heights. And Connersville, listening to Greg Rakestraw on the pairing show, Connersville's having a nice season. They're hosting the game at the sectional, the tournament, and they're pretty excited. And I think Greg thinks that Connersville's the favorite to win that.
I'll take Yorktown or Delta. I think they're both playing. They're the two best teams in the sectional right now. And by the way, both teams don't have any seniors, so that's those teams are going to be pretty good next year.
Yes.
Actually, Yorktown has one pretty good one who doesn't score very much, but not a lot of seniors on those teams. So those programs have come from a long way, and next year should be really good years. But they both have a chance to win this one for sure. All right, let's go to Class 2A where we have a ton of teams, Michelle. Most of our coverage area, our local coverage area, is 2A. And we start with sectional 38 at Lewis Cass. 15-6. Lewis Cass is the defending champion, and they open against 1-20 Eastern. And number 17 Oak Hill is 20-2. They haven't won a sectional championship since they won the state championship in 2019, and they open with 17-4 Wabash. So that should be a really good one. Oak Hill beat Wabash 40-29 on December 18th. Manchester will play the Lewis Cass Eastern winner, and Rochester will play the Oak Hill Wabash winner. Rochester's 15-6. A lot of good teams in this one. Michelle, looks like Oak Hill, Lewis Cass are the favorites. Maybe Wabash.
Yeah, you can't count Wabash out because they have good tournament history.
And they've got some good seniors as well.
Yes, it's a good team. It's been a good girls program here over the course of the past few years, probably the past decade at least. Used to be, which is funny because the Wabash used to be way back in the ancient days when I was in school and my sisters were in school. That was usually a team you counted on to win, and I think actually Tipton's girls actually really set a scoring record when they played Wabash.
Yep.
And it did it. Not even. I mean,
except for baseball.
Yes, except in baseball. But not lately. I mean, like I said, not for at least the last decade, maybe a little bit longer. The game is being cast as getting to play it on their court. Sometimes I think that can be, a little bit of an advantage when it comes time, just because you know your floor. On Friday night, you're not, you're going home to bed. You don't have to get on a bus and travel back, and then travel back on Saturday. But yeah, the winner of I wouldn't be surprised if the winner of Oak Hill and Wabash is playing Cass in the championship game.
That's what it looks like. All right, let's look at sectional 39 at Sheridan. The two best teams, it looks like the two contenders are on the opposite sides of the bracket, so that's good. Lapel opens with Taylor. Lapel is a two-time defending champion and the regional champions last year. Tuesday, February 4th, Lapel and Taylor play at 6, followed by 10-12 Frankton against 19-1 11th ranked Sheridan. Sheridan is also a defending champion. They won their second sectional ever last year. 12-8. Sorry,
And they
12
also
and
won the regional. They went to the semi-state too.
that's right. 12-9 Elwood will play the Lapel Taylor winner, and 2-19 Tipton will play the Sheridan Frankton winner with the championship game 7 o'clock on Saturday.
Hey, that draw was perfect to set up for a lapel Sheridan championship game. No offense to Coach Jeff Bates and the Lady Eagles. They're going to have
Well,
their hands full on that Tuesday night. You know, I see I see Lapel and Sheridan getting to the championship. I really like this Sheridan team. I think Jalen has done such a wonderful job with that program. I've talked about it before. I just think, um, she's got a good group of seniors and everything. When we were talking about it, and as I'm sitting here and I'm sitting there thinking, okay, sectional 38, sectional 39, sectional 40 all have teams that could win that 3A Twin Lakes sectional.
another would dominate that sectional.
I know, and I'm sitting there thinking, it's really sad that that Lapel and Sheridan, one of them's going to knock each other out because that whoever loses that game would probably win that section, even though it's 3A. So
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about it. All right, Michelle. I don't know if you remember, we talked to Mickey Hosier last week and we asked him what his perfect draw was, and he got it. He said he'd like to play on Tuesday, he'd like to play on Friday and Saturday, and he's going to get to the 21-1 third rank Alexandria. They fell last week, by the way, from 2 to 3. Weird. They play 3 and 15 Burris to open the sectional February 4th at 6. And then Eastbrook and Madison Grant will play each other for the third time. 2 of Eastbrook's 6 wins have come against the Argyles. Madison Grant is 4 and 17. By the way, both games were really close, 55 to 51 and 36 to 32. 2 and 20 Blackford will face Alexandria. So really nice draw for Alexandria. And the Eastbrook Madison Grant winner will face 17 and 4 Wapahani, with the winners playing Saturday the 8th at 7:30.
again, opposite brackets should be a heck of a championship game. I really, really would love to see the Tigers win. I'd like to see Mickey get it. He's, as a boys coach, he's won sectionals.
Yeah.
As a girls coach, he's had sectional championship heartbreak.
Yes.
They blew a 7-point lead against Frankton a few years ago. And I mean, it was a 7-point lead with, I think, a minute to go or under, and got beat in overtime. And then he said it. They played, that was in the championship, but then the last 3 years, I think they've gotten beat by. They played the winner in the first round, which was Frankton again, and then Lapel each of the last 2 years, and have lost. So at least he doesn't have necessarily that in his thing. Wapahani, though, I think can give him a game. I hope the Elliott girls stay relaxed and fluid and go in and have fun. And don't get tight because they feel like the pressure's on them to win. I really like it. I would love to see them win because I want Elliott to go as far as they can, so Jacqueline Hosier can continue to get the exposure she deserves.
Yeah.
Her and
Absolutely.
Norwell have quite the ongoing thing, battle there. In
If
Madison County, of course,
Alexandria plays well, they
Wills
should
is
win.
going to probably break their record next year, but
Yes. Yeah.
but when you think about it, I mean, Hosier and Warfel are two
So much fun to
outstanding
watch.
guards.
So much fun to watch. If Alexandria plays well, they should win the sectional. And Wapahani's
Yes, they
good,
they
but
should.
I don't think they're on
And and,
Alexandria's level. I could be wrong.
and I'll say this, they got I think they and I'm trying to remember if they win the sectional, do they is it sectional 37 that they play in the regional? I
Yeah.
think the Sheridan winner plays the Cass winner, I think, or it's either that or maybe Alexandria. I saw that regional draw and I can't.
I've got it right here, Michelle. Um, the winner from Alexandria plays the winner from Rensselaer. That'll probably be Rensselaer.
Yes.
And then Sheridan and Lewis Cass. So could very well be Alexandria, Rensselaer Central, Oak Hill, and Sheridan or Lapel. So Gonna have a lot of
Yeah.
interest in that one.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think both the winner of Ellick and the winner of Sheridan can be in and make it to the semi-state.
Absolutely. All right. To Class A, Sectional 54 is a five-team sectional, and it starts with 12 and 10 Clinton Prairie against 15 and 6 Carroll. Surprisingly, Carroll hasn't won a sectional since 2002. Clinton Prairie beat the Cougars 51 to 46 at home 2 weeks ago. That should be a really good one. The winner of that one plays the second game in the semifinals on Friday after 13 and 8 Rossville versus 2 and 18 Frontier. Rossville beat Frontier by 16 points just last week. And then number 14 Clinton Central is 16 and 6. Will play the Clinton Prairie Carroll winner at 7:30 on Friday with the championship at 7:30 on Saturday.
Yeah, that's going to be that'll be an interesting it's going to be an interesting sectional.
Yeah. The Sagarin
You had
rating
you had
says
Clinton Central that almost came very close to making it to the state last year.
right.
Carroll dropped down from 2A to Class A, so that makes that sectional tougher. Clinton Prairie's having a good year. Rossville, coached by Jennifer Jacoby, they're going to be ready to play. It should be a good, fun, competitive sectional. I think it will probably, I wouldn't be surprised to see Clinton Central win it, but I also wouldn't be surprised to see Carroll or Rossville or Prairie.
Right. Yeah. Looks like four of the teams can win it. Rossville got the nice draw. They should be in the championship game. They face Frontier in the first round and should be in the championship game and get to avoid two of the three best teams. They'll only have to play one of them.
That's always a good thing.
That is. Sectional 55 is at Tri Central. Should be a good sectional, too. It starts with 3 and 16 Cowan versus 0
Well,
and 8.
let's real quick remind people this is an 8-team sectional. Those are rare, so they're going to
That's
be
right.
playing Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday.
That's correct. It starts with 3 and 16 Cowan versus 0 and 18 West Dell at 6 on Tuesday. Then 11 and 7 Daleville versus 7 and 14 Tri Central at 7:30 on Tuesday. Daleville beat Tri Central 46 to 22 at Tri Central on January 3rd and is 5 and 0 against the sectional field. Northfield is 13 and 7 and will play Southwood in the first game on February 4th. Southwood is 6 and 15. 12 and 9 North Miami takes on 15 and 7 Southern Wells in the other first round game. Tuesday's winners versus Wednesday's winners. Michelle, there is another one that is just wide open. You look at the Sagarin ratings, they're all within 8 points of each other except for Cowan and Westell. Even Tri Central has to consider itself at home, has to think of itself as, hey, no reason we can't get on a roll here.
Yeah, there's not. Tri-Central will have to take care of the ball. We know they have a very strong post player in Logan Creason. For them, it's gonna be how do they handle the ball? How do they handle pressure? And that's the thing about Daleville. Daleville can apply pressure and force you into turnovers. They're athletic, they're quick. But yeah, I mean that is an open sectional. Southern Wells is having one of its best seasons for a long time. The last time that I remember watching Tri Central and Southern Wells play each other at Tri Central in a sectional. I can't remember if it was a semifinal or the championship game. And Southern Wells gave Tri Central. It was back when Kathy Layden was on one of the years. They were making all their trips down to the state. I can't remember if it was a year they won or if it was the year that they ended up getting upset in the regional, but Southern Well, it was a great game, and Tri Central drew up a play, an out of bounds play, but one kind of at the end, and so that folks, gosh, hey, you buy a ticket out there, you're getting your money's worth. You can go to 4 nights. You can see 4 nights of basketball. So
Yes, it's going to be a good one too. All right, and our final sectional, Michelle, is an interesting one. It's sectional 57 at Anderson Prep. Only one school in the sectional has ever won a sectional championship, and that's Tinley. The first, by the way, the half of the bracket, Indiana Def is almost certainly to advance to the sectional championship game. They're 11-10. They start with 0-11 MTI Knowledge Academy at 6 o'clock on Tuesday. Then Anderson Prep is 14-8, takes on 12-9 Tinley. The two teams probably the two favorites at 7:30. Um, Indiana Def will then play 3-9 Purdue Broad Ripple, who's also not good at all. So it looks like Indiana Def will be in the championship. And then Liberty Christian versus Anderson Prep or Tinley, and they play Anderson Prep and Liberty went to overtime last time. So somebody's going to have a really good postseason here.
Yeah, they are. And after watching APA beat Tri Central last year and win their first ever sectional game, and
Right.
then almost beating Delville to win the sectional. I would love to see Anderson. I would love to see Anderson Prep win. I just think it would be great, and I wouldn't count them out because I'll tell you what. I was actually kind of surprised when I went over there and got to see them hosting a sectional. I thought, well, they get to because it's Class A in small schools because that gym is not very big.
All right, Michelle. Any final thoughts on the postseason coming up? And once again, you and I will talk about the postseason more throughout. I mean, for the next month, all we'll be talking about is girls basketball.
Yeah, I thought the draws were interesting. I really thought overall, because watching a lot of the draws, that had to be kind of nice because a lot of these sectionals are set up to have some really exciting sectional championship games, and that's always fun. And as far as the area, it looks good. I mean, I think Pendleton Heights is no reason they shouldn't be sectional champions. Same with Alexandria Tigers. You know, we know. I mean, Sheridan already has a win over Lapel earlier this year. I wouldn't be surprised to see him beat Lapel again. I just think that Sheridan just has more more established players around Garner
Yep.
than what Lapel does around Wills.
Yeah, no question about it. Sheridan is the favorite in that sectional, but I would not count out Lapel at all.
Yeah, no, I'm not counting him out. The only reason I say that I think Sheridan is favored is because of that, because they have
Absolutely.
more established players surrounding their star than what Lapel does theirs.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
and then so yeah, for Elwood, I want to touch on Elwood girls real quick. 12 wins, what a feat for them. I talked to Coach Licklider, and I asked her what was up with Kendra Slee, because I know Elwood get a big senior night win over Westell. Slee didn't play, and then they they lost to Tri Central, and nothing against the Trojans because I think they do well, but not having Slee hurt Elwood against Tri Central.
Absolutely.
And Celie is day to day. I guess it's a nerve issue in her hand, and so like arm and hand, kind of shoulder to hand, whatever. So it makes me guessing that maybe no feeling, no control, strength in it. So it's day to day.
They need her in the postseason, that's for sure.
They do need her in the postseason. If
She's a rebounding machine.
Yes, and just to compete, they need her, especially because, I think Mendenhall, she started out and she's wearing a shoulder brace. She hasn't been. She got healthy midway through the season, so she's providing them some scoring off the bench. Sam Dockery, a sophomore, is starting to get better, and so is first year junior Kelsey Arms. So, but they just need Sally's presence inside, and if they have Sally's presence inside, they might be able to challenge Lapel a little bit in the sectional.
No
Because
doubt.
you have to have somebody that can rebound, because if you don't, Wills is just going to totally dominate you down there.
Thank you so much to Michelle for joining the Central Indiana Sports Report. Once again, she is the best. And thank you for listening. We always appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind telling a friend about the Central Indiana Sports Report, it would really help us. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media. And I love Susie.